it's Shelby, and today I wanted to review a bunch of different zero waste or low waste cleaning brands. I decided to do this because I was getting a lot of requests to review these brands like individually, and I was like, I can't do all of that. I can't do different videos for each of these brands, fam. But I thought what would be really helpful is if I review all of the brands that you have been requesting, give you my true and honest opinion on all of them, actually test them out, compare them to one another, and then you can make the decision as to which one you want to purchase from, or if you want to purchase from any of them at all. Some of these brands I already use and I've talked about before. They've been my tried and true items, but I'm going to be putting them up against some other brands that you guys wanted me to test out to see if they're still my tried and true or if I found something better. If you haven't seen my cleaning routine before, I'll link it right here. You can check it out, and we're gonna see if any of these things that I'm gonna test out today could replace my other items. The brands we're going to be reviewing are as follows. This is not all of them, but these are the most popular ones that were requested. So we're going to be talking about Blueland, Cleancult, Drops, NoToxLife, and a brand called Tru Earth. I forgot to mention them in the original footage of this. I actually kind of came up with a few things that I would test each of these brands for rating them, because if you haven't seen it, I have a whole video where I tested out a ton of zero waste shampoos. I'll link that right here. I plan to make this into kind of a series, rating all of the different products in each category so that you can make the best decision as to what's going to work for you. So in today's video for the cleaning products, I have a list right here. I'm going to tell you what we're going to be ranking them according to. So number one is ingredients, which is a really interesting topic to discuss in this cleaning video, because did you know that cleaning brands are not required by law to disclose what ingredients go into their formulas? You can walk into any conventional grocery store, pick up a bottle of Dawn, and notice that there are absolutely no ingredients on their packaging, which is really scary to me. So we'll be looking into all these brands, if they disclose their ingredients and what those ingredients are. Obviously, something else that's really important to me is packaging, but when we talk about packaging, something to keep in mind is that it costs a lot of greenhouse gases. That's a weird way to put it, but it takes a lot of greenhouse gases to transport the materials that we think of as more eco-friendly, right? If we're purchasing from a brand that comes in glass because we think it's more eco-friendly, we also have to think about the fact that there is a higher transportation cost because those items are heavier. And not only when it comes to glass versus plastic, but also when it comes to shipping liquid versus a solid. So many cleaners are basically just concentrated little formulas, and then they add something like 80 to 90% water. Most of the formula comes from a very small amount of product, and the rest is water, which you have at your house already. So it could save a lot of greenhouse gases if we concentrated the formulas and let you add the water yourself. But all of that kind of fits into packaging. I'm also going to obviously talk about how the products work, how effective they are, how accessible they are, and then how easy they are to use. With spring coming up very soon and spring cleaning on so many people's brains, I thought this would be a good time to make this video. So if you find it helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and let's get into the test. I'm going to be testing these out over the next week or two, so you might catch me in different outfits, different stages of my day. Let's just get started. Alright, so first up is Cleancult, and I opened the box already, got everything out, read through this really helpful little pamphlet, and I'm really excited about this brand. Honestly, I went into this video quite skeptical, and I still am. I'm going to try to look into all these brands as much as I can to give you as much information as possible, but just upon opening this box, I'm pretty excited. My first question upon opening that was, what's up with this little plastic right here? Is it plastic? Is it compostable plastic? What is it? And I read through the little pamphlet, like I said, and it turns out that that is just like a little layer that will degrade in your dishwasher or laundry. You don't have to take these little packets out of here. It is part, I guess, of the washing formula. So that was my first concern, and the pamphlet already answered it for me. Next thing that's really important to note, and something that I see in a lot of greenwashing brands, is the word biodegradable is not regulated by any sort of government agency. So in the US, a company can write the word biodegradable on any formula, and there's no one to tell them that that is right or wrong. But that doesn't mean that each individual company doesn't have their own definition of what biodegradable means, and that it is actually eco-friendly or not. So I am going to reach out to Cleancult and have an answer for you guys as to what their definition of biodegradable is. So Cleancult comes in these cute little glass bottles that are refillable, which is really, really cool. We're gonna test out the formula and actually use this stuff, obviously, but I think the look of them are really cute. They come in these cute little colors, or you can get them in white, so that you get this only one time. This is not what you're like repurchasing and they're reshipping all the time. what they send back out to you are the refills. So those look like this. Now they say that this is a paper packaging. On the back of it right here, it says sustainable paper-based packaging that reduces plastic use by over 80% and saves on shipping emissions too. It is made in the US and assembled in the US, which is really cool. But my question is, how do we dispose of this particularly here? So that's my first concern as far as completely zero waste is concerned. But yes, so you refill these with these, and then the little tabs we already talked about, which this is such a nice like glass container. I really am a fan of this. But the refills for those come like this. So they come in this little, what seems to be just paper. Oh, I just remembered. So I was recently doing some research on completely carbon neutral companies for a blog post I'm doing. I'll have that link below. All the carbon neutral companies that I recently found, and I made a blog post for them. Cleancult was one of them. I should have said that. So we'll definitely take that into consideration when we're talking about how eco-friendly each of these brands are. But Cleancult as a brand offsets all of their carbon emissions. So that's super cool. No plastic in sight. Super cool. So for Cleancult, I will mention this throughout the video, but I think it is a really great resource for people who are not ready to do all the DIYs and not ready to jump into the most hippy-dippy solutions like maybe you and I are. Cleancult has a wide range of products, which I think will make it really easy, like I said, for the average consumer to go to one place and get what they need. Not to mention, a lot of these services, Cleancult included, come on a subscription service, which I think is really helpful for people who are looking to save time, and that's definitely a plus for that sort of subscription service. So with that in mind, a quick little refresh for you. The things I'm going to be rating all of these brands against are their effectiveness, their packaging, and their ingredients. So for Cleancult, they actually do have palm oil in some of their items. If you guys don't know the issues surrounding palm oil, it's actually really interesting because palm oil is one of the most sustainable plant-based oils to grow, but the way it is being farmed in some places right now is really unsustainable and destructive to the environment. But if you purchase from a brand that has certified safe palm oil, then I think that's good because, like I said, it's one of the most sustainable oils. So keep that in mind if that's going to affect your purchasing decision, that Cleancult does use some palm oil in some of their products, but it is certified to be safe. For packaging, the refill solution is obviously a lot less wasteful. However, in this scenario, since they do ship out their refills in Tetra packs, you would have to be able to recycle those things where you live. Currently where I live, these things are not easily recyclable. They're not recyclable in our curbside, and I'm not sure where drop-off locations are. Granted, I could probably find them, but for me on packaging here, they get a little bit of a downgrade because of the difficulty to recycle, specifically the carton refills. And lastly, I want to rate them with effectiveness. So since Cleancult has a bunch of different items, I'm just going to give them an overall rating of 4. So I think you're going to hear me say this a lot throughout this video, that it's hard to rate the effectiveness of something when it's just the thing came out clean. So for instance, like the dishwasher tabs, the laundry tabs, as long as my stuff is clean and doesn't smell when it comes out, then it's good, like, right? It's good to go. There's nothing bad to say about it. So for Cleancult, the dishwasher tabs and the laundry tabs got everything clean. I didn't notice any residue. I didn't notice any stinking. Everything was good to go on that end. Their multi-surface cleaner worked well, but it's not anything spectacular. Obviously, I'm used to using alcohol, so this could be a little bit of an upgrade. Overall, the effectiveness was not bad, but it wasn't spectacular. The dish soap and hand soap suds up really well and seems to get everything clean. I have no complaints there. So that is our overall rating for effectiveness from me. Big plus for Cleancult though is that they are a carbon neutral company, which I definitely value. So I'm going to leave them linked below. Like I said, you can check them out. I'll see if I can get a discount code for you. If I do, it'll be on the screen and in the description. So check them out. I don't want this video to be too scrambled, so I am trying to organize it in a way that makes the most sense for you. Since Cleancult did have a laundry detergent, I thought I would mention the laundry detergent brand next, that all we're testing out of their brand is a laundry detergent, and that is Tru Earth. I talked about Tru Earth in my period routine video, so you guys know I've been testing this out. So many of you have been asking about this because I think they advertise on my channel, so you guys get like the pre-roll ads of these guys before you watch my videos. But this is Tru Earth, so they basically just come like this. They came just like this. I ripped it open, and it came in a cardboard box, like a pretty small one. A lot of times, you know, you get shipments of like something this small that's just like so thin, and it's in a huge cardboard box. It wasn't a pretty small one, and it's so simple. Like, look here. So you just take the strips out of this little envelope, and then they're like this, and you just split them in half, and one of these strips equals 1 load of laundry. It's honestly so simple, and after testing them out for a little while, I'm thoroughly impressed. So the 3 ways we're rating them, like I said, packaging, ingredients, and effectiveness. Like I said on effectiveness, as far as clothing goes, as long as my clothing comes out good, no stinky, no residue, whatever, we're good. And for Tru Earth, that is definitely true. Nothing came out bad or weird or wrong. For packaging, I actually really love this idea of the way this works. It's so simple. I think this is really valuable that Tru Earth found a way to make washing your clothes even more simple than the alternatives, right? So going to the store, buying those big plastic jugs of laundry detergent is kind of a hassle, not to mention it takes a lot of greenhouse gases to ship those things around, and then obviously the plastic bottle on top of that. And by Tru Earth shipping out their laundry strips in just a cardboard package, it's so simple. It arrives right to your door. You don't have to worry about carrying around anything heavy. They're super easy to rip off and throw into your washer. These are like really good as far as packaging is concerned. So they get a 5 from me on that for sure, like an A++. And as far as ingredients go, they are super transparent on their website. Something I had to focus on in a lot of these brands is they would use the word biodegradable, and I had to reach out and ask them, how do you define this term? But the term biodegradable is used in Tru Earth's marketing, but on their website it is defined where they take that from. So I do think that is really helpful, and I very much like Tru Earth. Stay tuned to the end to see if I'll switch up my other laundry detergent to them. So I've been using drops for a while. If you guys have seen my cleaning routine, you know, then you know that's what I use. They just come in a cardboard box, so no plastic packaging, and then I store them in this jar like this. They last for such a long time. I think I've only reordered them since we moved into this house once, maybe twice, and that's over the course of a year. So I really like drops. It's just a concentrated formula inside this little dude here. These are definitely lower waste in terms of like waste, because there is no waste. You throw this whole thing in there, it's biodegradable, dissolves in your washer, and it only comes in a cardboard box on its own when it ships. So I like these, but I'll talk a little bit more about them in the next clip. So for drops, you guys know I've been using them in my dishwasher for a long time if you've seen my cleaning routine, like I said. They also come with very minimal packaging, so as far as packaging goes, they get a 5 from me on that. I don't know how they could make it any less, so that's really good. For effectiveness, like I said, I've been using them for a while and I've never had an issue with them. I really think they work great in your dishwasher, so they get a 5 for that. And when I tested out their laundry pods for this video, again, it's really hard to rate them for effectiveness on this because the clothes came out how I expected them to, nothing weird happened there, so they can keep their 5 as far as laundry pods are concerned. For drops ingredients, they do provide them if you are looking for them, so they're not as outright obvious on their website as some of these other brands are. It is kind of a link on the page you have to look for and then click to expand it, and then you get to see all the ingredients. Regardless, this is something a lot of brands around the world cannot say that they do. So as far as ingredients go, they do have a biodegradable formula, and I think they're a really great company all around as well. So Drops gets another thumbs up from me. By the way, I should have said this maybe in the beginning. I'll put a disclaimer on all of the pages, but these are all vegan and cruelty-free products. I wouldn't show anything that wasn't. So move on to the next one. So this is definitely a weird time for me to be filming this video because my perspective on a lot of this has changed from the start to the end with all of these things going on with the virus. Because specifically, like things that we're talking about today, none of them are sanitizing. These are for general cleaning, not for killing viruses, not for killing bacteria, that sort of thing. So in light of everything that's going on, I really hesitated to post this video at all, but a lot of you asked me to still continue doing it, so here I am. And I have a few things I want to say about Blueland and just brands doing things like them. So for me, one of the reasons for making this video, because one of the positives for me is that brands like this are coming onto the market and helping me not have to do DIYs. If you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you've seen my cleaning routine and you've seen my bathroom essentials, etc. And you know that I'm not a DIY girl. So for brands like Blueland, Cleancult, and all the brands we're talking about today to come onto the market, it really saves me from having to do any DIYs. And the reason why I think it's weird to talk about that during this time is a lot of us are stuck inside and have a lot more indoor time on our hands, whereas normally I honestly don't love to do DIYs because it is quite time consuming for me personally and just not something I want to do. So when brands like this come along, it gives me an opportunity to support what they're doing to make sustainable options more widely available. Because if you ask yourself, if your friends friends and family who don't give a shit about sustainability are going to switch over to DIYing their cleaning products? The answer is no. They don't want to spend the time, and they just don't care in general enough to do that. So for me, being able to support companies making sustainable options more accessible is a really good thing, so they can reach a broader market like people like my friends and family, and eventually make sustainability a wider known thing rather than just a few of the sustainable nut jobs like you and me doing that sort of thing. So I think that's why brands like this are really, really important. And even though this is a weird time to be talking about things, it is still important. So I'm going to clip over now to my final thoughts about this brand, Blueland, specifically. Blueland, this is a brand that I think could be really helpful, again, for the wider base of consumers to be able to get this shipped to their home. People who don't even care about this sort of thing. It's a lot more convenient for people not having to bring things from the grocery store that are pretty heavy, and being able to make it in your home with a lot less waste. So for packaging here, Blueland gets a weird rating from me because I'm super stoked about their concentrated formula. I think it is really, really helpful to reduce shipping costs, to only have to ship a little tablet as opposed to a whole bottle full of cleaner, right? So they get a really, really good rating from me there. The only thing is the little pods do come in a little package that is not able to be recycled. And I think that they're probably working on that. I'll make sure and ask them and put that information on the screen for you. Breaking in is editing me here to tell you, I just did some more digging on Blueland's packaging, and actually there's a whole article about how they came to choosing the packaging that they did and how difficult it was. It's really interesting to consider what these people doing something different than the norm have to go through to find packaging that will keep their products safe and usable, and also, you know, eco-friendly. So that was a really interesting read. I'll link it below. But the way that this packaging is, it looks like a mixed material of aluminum and paper, and it is, but because of how thin that aluminum is, it's actually compostable. So that's what it says on their website. I didn't know that when I was recording the bit that you're watching right now, but knowing that now, they definitely get like a full 5-star rating from me. I think that is so, so cool. So shouts out to you, Blueland, and yeah, let's keep going with the video. As far as effectiveness goes, I wouldn't rate these as super, super great or super, super bad. Specifically for a bathroom cleaner though, I do think I personally would want something more gritty, more hardworking. What they give you as a bathroom spray is just a liquid, and personally I really like to use baking soda and then lemon to clean pretty much all areas of my bathroom to actually get grime off. I find that works really well, and it's really low waste, so I personally wouldn't repurchase a bathroom version of their cleaner. But the other ones, like the multi-surface one, obviously work great if you don't want to do the DIY version of these things. And especially if you don't have access to bulk like vinegar, if you have to buy vinegar in glass or plastic anyway, this is definitely going to be a lower waste option in terms of shipping and packaging use overall. And as far as ingredients go, Blueland does also list all of their ingredients on their website. Sometimes the word palm oil can be hiding under other names, but they do say they are completely palm oil free, which I think is really good. So let's go to just one more thing I wanted to talk about before we go. When I started filming this video, I asked you guys on Instagram which brands you wanted me to review, talk about, buy from, give you my thoughts, all that good stuff. And so many of you told me you wanted me to test out a NoToxLife dish block or just a dish block in general, so I figured I couldn't do this video without at least including that. This is a product that is just kind of like floating out on its own over here, but I figured I'd talk about it anyway. Honestly, if it were just me, I would be really impressed by this and maybe tempted to switch to the block, but because I live with friends and family, my fiance and my sister, I think the liquid soap is something that they can deal with more right now than having a dish block to like scrub their dishes with. I try to make the most sustainable choice so that everybody in the house can use the same thing rather than switching to a block so that me and Madison use it when we do our dishes and then my sister goes back to purchasing Dawn. But as far as effectiveness goes, it was really, really good. If you guys want to give this a try, I would definitely recommend doing so. It worked really well, sudsed up really well, got everything really clean. It was good. Packaging is super, super minimal, so they get a total 5-star from me on that. And the ingredients are pretty good on this guy too, so I would give them a good rating on here. Alright, so for the purposes of wrapping up this video and letting you guys know my final thoughts and if I'm going to switch up anything in my routine after trying all of these, I thought I would sit down and just talk about them a little bit. Everything I talked about today is going to be linked in the description, whether I personally decide I want to use it or not, because my whole goal of this series, where I try out a bunch of different brands and things and give you my honest opinion on all of them, is to help you know what all the options are out there and what would work best for your lifestyle. Like, I can see plenty of these things working better for other people's lifestyles rather than what I choose choose to do. Also, sorry that the lighting is going in and out, but let me just tell you, only a couple things about my whole cleaning routine is going to change after this video. And number one, the first thing I want to talk about are my laundry detergent. I'm gonna change my laundry detergent. So many of you know I've been using soap nuts for so long. I really like them. They're super cheap, they're super easy, etc. And back when we lived in our garage apartment, it was never a problem. Madison never said that she didn't like the soap nuts. I didn't really know that she had an issue with them. Then when we moved in with my sister actually uses Tide. But I would sometimes catch her using the liquid detergent that my sister had in here because she doesn't really like the soap nuts. So I've been looking for a good alternative for a little while, just because if it's something that my partner doesn't like, it doesn't make sense for me to keep purchasing that if I can find a better alternative that works for both of us. And I really admire what Tru Earth has done here in simplifying the way you get your laundry detergent, and it's a lot easier to store than other detergents. It's easy to put in your washer. The simplicity of this, I think, could go significantly more mainstream. It's completely plastic-free packaging. It's a biodegradable formula that has a definition on the website readily available. Things that I look for in a product, Tru Earth is doing really well. So I'm here to say I'm letting my soap nuts go for the Tru Earth strips. If you've been on this channel for a while, you may know why that seems crazy, but yeah, I'm just gonna, as soon as I run out of the Eco Nuts, or I guess that maybe we'll use both until I'm out of them, but I'm officially a Tru Earth converter. Yeah. Okay, so that's one of the ways I switched up my routine after this. The other way is probably going to be my multi-surface cleaner. So I really like Cleancult. They're a carbon neutral company. I think that's really important, and I also think that their mechanism has a really good possibility of going mainstream. So I really want to support them in some way. Unfortunately, I don't really want to change up anything else in my routine that I already use for them, but I can support them with their multi-surface cleaner because, like I said, I don't like to make DIYs. I can't use any vinegar solutions, and I've been having to buy alcohol in a plastic bottle. So by doing this, at least I'm able to support a brand that could do better, and it's less wasteful for what I'm currently using right now too. So those are the two things I'm switching up. I'm not switching my hand soap over to Blueland, although I do think if you're a really big fan of foaming cleansing soap, like hand soap, that's the only alternative out there that is low waste. So that could be really good for you. Go check them out. But I personally just use the same soap we use for dishes for my hands. It's from a small woman-owned company called FILAREE, and I'll link them below as well. She has a program where she ships you the refills in a plastic bottle, and then you send the plastic bottle back, and she ships that back and forth. And she, for the first time I ever ordered it, she sent me a glass bottle, so that glass bottle sits on my counter, and that's what we use. I really like that, and it's a multi-purpose thing because I can also use it to wash my hands. So I'm not switching any hand washing soaps or any dishwashing soaps due to today's video. I'm also gonna stick with drops for my dishwasher tablets because I just really like them. They come on auto service, and I can get them on Earth Hero with my discount code now. So either I get, you know, my subscription, or I get it cheaper at Earth Hero. Either way, I'm sticking with drops for now. So yeah, those are all of the things I tested out today, how my routine is or isn't changing, and all the things I wanted to share. Honestly, there are so many other brands out there that I could be testing out, and I could make a whole nother video. I could make like 2 or 3 more videos with all the brands that you guys asked about and that I found through my research. So this whole testing out different things in each given category is a series, but I could also just expand in the series with cleaning brands that you want me to test out. So let me know in the comments if you want to see more of those and which brands you still wonder about, because I have a list here in my notes of the other brands that you guys wanted me to test out. I did want to say specifically why I didn't talk about some brands that come in big box stores. You guys might know that I have a whole video on why Mrs. Meyer's is not the most eco-friendly brand. I mean, obviously it comes in plastic, and the things that we talked about today are lower waste options in that way, and companies trying to make strides instead of just greenwashing with certain words that make you think they're doing better than they really are. So I don't think I'll include things like Mrs. Meyer's, Everspring, Love Beauty Home, the line by Love Beauty and Planet. Those are run by giant corporations, not doing wonderfully sustainable things, still coming in plastic, and just like not the best option. And I usually try to focus on what is accessible to people, because some people have access to bulk, some people don't, but the internet is a great equalizer in that way. Just as I can order something online, you can also order something online. And I do know that cost is an aspect there that maybe changes things. I'm going to try to be more mindful of that as well, but I'm not going to personally buy with my own money any of those brands that I don't think have okay ethics. Like, they've got to have good ethics to make it into my home. Then we'll evaluate their effectiveness and sustainability. But if they're an unethical company altogether, I'm just not gonna do it. So yeah, I hope this video was really, really helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up, please, if you're still here, because I know this is going to be a long video. It's been a really difficult video for me to make, but what's going on in the world right now, I've struggled a lot with actually filming this video, trying to address it, debating with long hours, trying to decide if I'll even post it in such a weird time like this. So if you enjoyed it, like I said, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. And remember, until next time, you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you could do. Oh, and I guess I could mention that most of these things you don't have to go out and buy right now at the stores when you run out, because they ship to you. So if you're scared of the grocery store like I am right now, you don't have to go out to buy any of it. And they're all linked in the description. Okay, bye guys.